drinking wouldn't have allowed me to explore this other area of me and kind of was keeping me at this level. Like drinking, when you're drinking a lot, never elevates you. It never progresses you forward. All it does is just keep you here. Keeps you here. You know, you never have heard anybody ever say that I am really glad I started drinking again. Nobody's ever said that because there's no reason to be glad if you've stopped and you've seen the positive aspects that drinking has made towards your life being improved in every way, shape, or form. It's like there's no reason to look back, and that's where I'm sitting right now. I'm really not even like, oh, I'm 100 days sober. I hope I can make it 100 more. I'm almost like drinking isn't even a thing for me anymore. I don't drink, and life has gotten so much better without drinking in every way. So I know a lot of people hit me up on Twitter about being sober. I know a lot of people always ask me questions about it. So I've been thinking about this for a long time. I want to form a place where people can get together and talk about issues with addiction. It doesn't have to be limited to alcohol. It can be any other addiction. I know there's every addiction out there. And even if you're having a hard time in life with depression, if you're having a hard time in life with your family, with work, anything, I know that everybody needs somebody to talk to, and not everybody has somebody to talk to. So I'm going to use Ruin Your Day as a platform for that. Every week on Wednesdays, I haven't decided a time yet, probably around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to have Ruin Your Day live for an hour. And basically what's going to be happening is the chat is going to be live, and that's going to be used as the floor for everybody to talk. I might be on a video feed answering questions to the chat. I might pull up some music that Ruin Your Day made to play. I might play some video in the background. It's going to be sort of a free-form vehicle type of feed. There's not going to be really a set thing that we're doing. The only thing that I want to go on is I want people to feel like it's a safe place to come into and talk and vent, talk to other people, maybe give advice. I'll be in there if anybody wants to ask any questions about being sober. I can give whatever advice I can for that. And yeah, essentially, I just think there needs to be a place like that. I think AA works really well for a lot of people because it's a community. It's a strong-knit community. You have a sponsor that holds you accountable for not drinking. You have other people that are going through the same thing as you. You realize there's a whole world out there of people that just don't drink. And that's rare these days, honestly. So I want there to be a place like that on Ruin Your Day that's doesn't have to be just limited to alcohol. It could be anything. You know, like my parents went through some heart problems this year, and that really devastated me. So, you know, I needed somebody to talk to about that. My ex-girlfriend's dog that I really love got cancer. My close friend just had cancer. So it's been tough for me as well this year, and I'm really thankful that I've had Ruin Your Day to talk to you guys about battle rap and forget about the troubles in my life, but I want to give back, and I want to create a platform where we can all come together and sort of be each other's shoulder to lean on every now and then. So just wanted to make this video to talk about me getting sober, my experience with it. Honestly, to wrap this up, being sober is like probably the best thing that's happened to me in a long time. Me breaking up with my ex-girlfriend that I love to this day has been the best thing that's ever happened to me too as well. It's really like jump-started me to make big improvements in my life that I'm really proud of. And yeah, I mean, I think anybody out there that's struggling with addiction, the first question you need to ask for yourself if you're thinking that you might have a drug problem, alcohol problem, any sort of problem is, if I'm asking myself if I have a problem, I might have a problem. Do you want to take the next step to solving it? Do you want to get clean? Do you want to get sober? And all I can say is being sober is amazing. It's great. I would never trade it for anything. It works really well for me. Other people can drink responsibly. I'm not one of those people. I can't drink responsibly at all. So, yeah, guys, I just want to thank you all for helping me through my year of sobriety. You guys really made a huge difference in my life. I want to thank everybody out there that supported Ruin Your Day, all the patrons, all the people that did a watch episode, all the guests, all the people that tuned in for watch, everybody that bought merch, everybody that bought music. It means the world to me. So thank you guys. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ruin It Hour, a safe place to talk about anything: anxiety, depression, sobriety, addiction, balance in life. My name is Kyle Gray. I'm the host of this show, the owner of this channel. We are live every week, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesdays. Join us, talk about anything you want. I can refer to the chat, or we can go off on a tangent of something else. But how are you guys doing today? Happy Wednesday. Happy New Year, 2020. How's everybody doing out there? Stuck at work, so half participating. What's shaking? What's up, Saint Soldier? Enlightenment Addict. Let's talk about recovery. My hair's getting longer. Yeah, it is. I need to cut. I hate when my hair gets long, to be honest with you. I love my hair being short. Hump day is rough, but it's going good. Salute from ATL. Hell yeah, guys. Good stuff. But yeah, anything you guys want to chat about in particular? Not Fake Shane. How you doing? Aiko. What's cracking? All right, let's jump into it. JD95J. I have real bad social anxiety, and I feel like it's really holding me back, and I don't know what to do. Make things better. It's tough. I don't know how to make things better. Social anxiety is a pretty common thing for people to have. What I watched a video recently on like how to cope with social anxiety, and it was actually from a Marine, and he has really bad social anxiety. And he was saying that there's a couple things you can do when you're going out, is to always drive so you can have an out. So if you feel really uncomfortable and you need to leave, you can leave. Don't drink. That's a big one. A lot of people that have anxiety, they feel like they need to have the social lubricant and drink. But if you just drink some tea, but if you're at a party, you probably can't drink tea. So get something like sparkling water. And then just sip on that. Nurse that. And yeah, don't also feel like you have to talk. That's a thing that they were saying for a lot of people with social anxiety. They feel like if they're not talking, they're not like really hanging out or conversing with everybody, but you don't need to talk. You can hang out with people and they can carry the conversation, or you can just hang out. You don't need to do anything. I get over that by not caring about what people think about me. That's true too. I mean, often people with anxiety definitely have self-esteem issues, and they struggle with those. Try and figure out what makes you drink. Oh, and what makes you quit? Yeah, definitely. I mean, the steps to being sober are definitely one, acknowledging that you have a problem, finding out why you drink in the first place. You're uncomfortable, you're stressed, you're angry. What makes you drink, and then solving those problems too, because alcoholism is a tree branch on a root of yourself, and your roots probably have a bunch of other issues you can unpack, and you follow the branch to the tree trunk down to the roots. How about, I don't know how religious you are, but you're a God sent to the culture, and God bless you for all the things you do for Battle Rap and Beyond. Jay Warren, thank you. I appreciate you, my man. How do I become less antisocial and become good at conversation? Because I'm in my second semester of college and haven't met anyone new, and it's pretty lame, you know. Are you talking about meeting people to date or just meeting people for friendships? I guess like a good trick to become less antisocial is to get over the fear of conversation and to get over the fear of awkwardness. And once you realize that social awkwardness is really just everybody else's issue and not yours, because if you just go up and talk to somebody on the street, it might be a little abrasive or awkward. But if you're in a social setting, and that's what people are there to do, people are more than happy to talk to you when you're there. I don't say you need to go to a party or go to a bar even. You can talk to somebody at a coffee shop, just practice. Even when you're like buying something, when you're at like the corner store, when you're at the gas station, the supermarket, get in the habit of talking to the people that you're purchasing things from. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, I like your shirt. You don't even have to be complimentary. Just talk to them. How's your day going? Do you have any plans for the weekend? What did you do for New Year's? Are you going to watch the Super Bowl? Just get in the habit of talking to people and sort of initiating conversation that way. And it'll probably help you overall just initiate conversation in general. Because I know from personal experience, more times I just like self-isolate myself and don't talk to people I actually interact with every day. That makes me less motivated to talk to people in general. Yep, I was at Diz versus Jersey Swift. For me, it was watching sports and battle rap. Loved getting high and drunk for both. Or cooking is a trigger as well, so I stopped that and helped me get sober up. Once sober for about a week, I started slowly integrating those things back into my life and realizing I can do those things sober and still enjoy them. That's wonderful, Black Sox. That's hella true. Like, no activity is better drunk. No activity is better drinking. I will tell you that. That's like the God honest truth. Everything is just as good, if not better, sober. That goes for fucking sex. That goes for exercise. That goes for battle rap, sports, everything. Everything that you think is like, oh, it's only fun when I drink. Because to be honest with you, Black Sox, I started actually watching football as an excuse to drink all day. I didn't actually watch football sober forever until I quit drinking, and then I was kind of worried that I wouldn't actually like football. And now I love football. So everything's better sober. Literally, fucking everything. CRS Flow, Avo, you might not remember, but a few weeks ago I told you my job was really bringing me down and how I wish I could quit. Well, last Friday I resigned, and I feel a huge weight has been lifted. Congrats! CRS Flow, congrats on that, man. That's huge. Congrats on taking that uncomfortable leap. That's really big, and that's a big step for yourself in your life. Congrats, man. So moving too fast. Amy, honestly, simply making eye contact with people at the store, walking down the sidewalk, on the bus, on the train can be a big thing, and that gets social ball rolling. That's hella fucking true. Eye contact is incredible in conversation. That's good advice, Amy. Hey man, I've done a couple sax guitar covers of a bunch of Battlers songs, and that's how I came across your content. And bruh, been watching nonstop. Love everything you do, huge fan. Saxy Rose, send me some clips of that. That's fucking awesome that you do that. That's incredible. Any new watch lives coming up? Yep, we're definitely gonna get some in. I think Jazz is in town, so we're gonna do some with Jazz. Oops is here, so we'll get some in. Tomorrow we got the show, so check that out live on this channel. Ruin your show. Alms kills. Just got more than 30 days in step 1. Withdrawal sucks. I get anxiety about my sobriety. When I'm by myself at night, I work at a bar, so recovery programs have been helping a lot lately. Congrats, man. Congrats for this 30 days. Stay strong, dude, because honestly, I'm not going to say it gets better, but you've been riding the wave at the hardest point right now. The first 30 days is the roughest. So you got this. You can do this shit. Do you think it's possible to learn moderation if you have a drinking problem? I mean, I think everybody's subjective. I think everybody's issues are to each their own. I'm no expert on everybody. All I know is that for me, it might be possible far away in the future. But I think when you get sober, you don't really want to start drinking again. There's no want. It's such a, honestly, I look at it as such a disposable thing in my life that I'm like, I don't need that in my life. It's almost like, why would I do that in the first place? Because I could have just as much enjoyment, fun, enlightenment being sober that I can having a drink. And I get that there are people that are responsible with alcohol and can have drinks, and it's really fun. It's really fun to drink. But just being sober for the time that I've been and going through what I've been going through, I just don't see the need or the want to go back to drinking. So for me, it might be possible far away in the future, but for now, it's not really a thing I'm looking into doing. And it's also like Mucho Mango said, is a slippery slope, because there's this analogy when you do addiction recovery, of a boulder on top of a hill. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with your inner circle and your outer circle. Like your inner circle is like your addictive habits that that are part of your addictive circle, like drinking, like doing drugs, sex addiction, stuff like that. That's like directly related to your addiction. And your outer circle are activities that have nothing to do with that. Hiking, exercising, cooking, stuff of that nature that are good and healthy. And once you start getting closer to your inner circle, where you're like, oh, I'm going to a bar. It's not really drinking, but I'm like around alcohol. Or like, oh, I'm not like getting drunk every week, but I'll have a drink with coworkers every now and then. It's like, it's not the end of the world. And then, so what? I got like buzzed the other day, like at lunch, like whatever. I didn't kill anybody. So what you start to do is you start to push that boulder slowly towards the hill. And then once it gets on that hill, it starts to gain momentum, and it's harder to get the boulder to stop because it has momentum, and also to get it back up to the top of that hill. So what you want to do is just keep the boulder at the top of the hill and not delve in any activities that are in your inner circle. So if enlightenment addict, is it hard for you to be around everybody drinking and smoking at the Watch Live events and at battle events? I can't casually hang around it. Mostly the behavior, it's triggering or off-putting. For me, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, I don't care if people drink around me. I mean, if people were like drunk around me, maybe like I would be like slightly like not want to be around them. But it's not something that like if I see somebody drinking, I'm like, fuck, I want to drink. Like, to be honest with you, I'm never triggered to drink. There's like the times I've been triggered to drink, it's come out of a root of me where I'm like incredibly lonely, or I'm going through something that's really, really hard on my heart. Those have been like the very few times I've been like, I wonder if I should drink right now. But I didn't do it, so I got through those. But yeah, being around people doesn't bother me. I wouldn't say it's my cream of the crop. I'll tell you this, I definitely don't go to bars on the weekends. I don't go out. I'll just be completely transparent. I went through a short stint the past week or two of dating. I got on some dating apps, and I went on a couple dates. I met a lot of really wonderful women. Not a lot, but I met a couple really amazing women, and I decided that I'm just not ready. I'm not emotionally available for anything at all, and I need to concentrate on myself. But so I'm not going to date for a long time. Probably going to be alone for a minute. That's a great thing. But the thing about that being sober is that there has definitely been dates that I went on where I told them that I was sober, and I made it clear to be like, I don't care if you want to drink, you can. And like a couple of my dates ordered a couple glasses of wine. One woman that I actually went on a date with, who's really, really amazing, she actually stopped drinking when she like, we went on like 3 dates, and she stopped drinking the first date that we went on. So it's really interesting, like the ripple effect getting sober causes for people around you, especially when they see the positive aspects of being sober. Not just you preaching sobriety all the time and being like annoying, almost like a Christian trying to push you into like their views, but more so just being sober and being like, look, I'm healthy. I'm cognitive of where I am in the present moment. I don't wake up with hangovers. I don't do stuff that I regret that much. But yeah, so I stopped drinking so much when I started doing fitness. Yep. It's hard to like accomplish fitness goals when you're drinking. Like I've always been a gym rat, and I was such an alcoholic that it like I was still like not in very good shape, even though I like worked out a lot, ate relatively good, and then did decent cardio. But now that I don't drink, it's like, fuck, man, I'm like so much healthier. I would like whoop my 25-year-old's ass right now in the gym. I would smoke me. Hell yeah, call Obsidian. Congrats on the month. Have you started dating? Like I said, I did, but I stopped. It's not for me. Currently, I spent the day with a girl I'm really into. I'm scared of letting her know how I feel. If she turns me down, that's a risk of relapse. If she says yes, is it too early? So what do you mean too early? Too early for what? Because how long have you gone without dating? When you sober up from something, you realize how commonplace it is in society. You wonder how many are just casual users and how many are functioning addicts secretly. Is it too early into your recovery to start dating? So you've been single for a month? Is that what you're saying? No, I mean, if you're ready, honestly. Like, but I would definitely be cognitive if you're saying that, like, you might if she turns you down, that might push you to drink. That's a thing that you need to check yourself on, because there are going to be times when you're disappointed in life, and relationships are hard. Even if you get with this woman and you're dating, there should be conflict in relationships, and there's going to be times that it's not easy, and you can't have that fear of whenever anything doesn't go perfect that you're going to turn to your addictive inner circle, because that's definitely like white knuckling. That's walking a really fine line on the edge of a cliff that you're not really secure in. So I think that's something that you should probably check really hard. Isn't it a thing that some people programs say that you shouldn't date for at least 6 months once you get sober? I'm not exactly sure, but I know I've heard that. Was that the question? I mean, I'm not like really into programs, so I don't know, but that's very possible. I could see that being a case. I don't really link sobriety and intimacy into the same umbrella, but they are, I guess, they are related for sure. But I think what they're trying to say is that sobriety is a road you got to take alone, and dating might complicate those things, so that could be true. Gorilla number 1, yes. One day I will watch Supernatural vs. Juice. The mind is such a powerful thing. We can do anything, and any addiction is a depression from whatever happens in your life equals a downslope. Do you feel that depression equals these dark places? No, I don't think every addiction is a result of depression. I think addictions are coping mechanisms for things you don't want to necessarily unearth about yourself, for sure. But that doesn't mean it's always about depression. Could be a lot of other things. Like, I'm addicted to a lot of things. Like, I've been like a love. I just forgot this word I was about to say, but I'm a love addict, I'm a sex addict, I'm an alcoholic, I'm a kind of a work addict too, and those are all different things to replace and avoid feelings that I don't want to feel, like being lonely, being alone, being left. Like I'm codependent as well, and that's also something that's pushed me to drink. So it's not always depression. It could be a lot of other things, and that's the joy in self-discovery and self-nurturing and self-parenting, is finding out these things about yourself and learning these aspects about yourself. Yeah, basically, really, it could be that you're just transferring addiction into a codependent relationship. Yep, 100%. 100%. Like, and also people that are codependent are also addicts as well. It definitely ropes into a lot of things. If you're running from intimacy, there's a chance you're numbing out that feeling with addiction. Some addictions are the ones that we were born into, things we're taught are normal, and then we don't know anything about those things. For sure. I mean, it's pretty crazy, like, what you learn at a young age, and that you don't really know that you're learning, because, when we're young, we're essentially a sponge. We might not understand like why things are happening the way they are, but we do them and understand them and learn them like language. We don't really grasp language at a young age, but we learn to use it as a tool even more effectively than we can in an adult. So, have you ever been to AA? If so, how was it? Supreme 14, yes, I've been to AA. AA is a great tool. It's a wonderful tool. A lot of people use it to get sober and stay sober. It's a very good community. I went a couple times, but for me personally, it wasn't really, I didn't resonate with me that much. So I haven't used it in my journey through sobriety, but I know a lot of people do use it. So, yeah. Have you ever felt that you're living in a dream, like you're on autopilot? Definitely. Definitely, and that's probably because you're not living in the now. There's something in your life that you're like numbing out, and you're not really taking accountability for, something you're not realizing. Whenever I felt that I'm like, oh, this is a dream, this can't be true, it means that I'm not really facing reality. Like I'm not really living in what's real. Yeah, it's always funny when people come in here talking about battle rap, but I get it. I get it. But what else, guys? What else we got to chat about? Let's see if I wrote down any quotes. State of affairs. Let's see. Oh yeah, I already read these last week. Well, whoop-de-doo. I don't know that, Wills. It's actually making me smile, which is nice because I've been depressed today. Willis, do you want to talk about your depression? What has gotten you depressed? How has your diet been recently? Is there a plan to stick to? My diet's been decent. I definitely have been not eating good sometimes, but I'll eat good for most of the day, and then I'll fucking like ruin it with like some fucking like snacks, like eating like dark chocolate covered almonds or some bullshit like that. But yeah, I mean, I've been eating really well. I've been eating a lot of like vegetables, quinoa, beans. Of course, I'm not one that's too big on meat. And I've been hitting the gym pretty hard, been doing pretty good, been walking home from the gym, which is like 4 miles. So can't stress how important it is to meal prep also, if that helps you, is to cook all your food for the week at the beginning of the week and then just store it in Tupperware in the fridge. If you're not that type of person, which I'm not, I like to cook every day and buy groceries every day because I live across the street from a grocery store. It's just easier. Just try to eat as healthy as possible. Try to eat out is the least you can because it's expensive and you're going to probably eat bad. What's up, Roberto? How you doing, bro? That's good. Meat is not good for you, especially processed meat. Yeah, I don't fuck with meat at all. What's up, Desi? How you doing? How do you cope with being alone without alcohol? That's the best way to cope with being alone is without alcohol. I think people, like, if you look at cope from the perspective of coping not being like, how do you instantly feel better, instead of like, how do you navigate in the healthiest way for yourself? Because if I was to feel lonely, like, oh, I miss my ex-girlfriend so much, I wish we were together, I fucked everything up in the relationship, I was such a terrible guy to her, I feel like a piece of shit, I'm gonna go fucking just get drunk right now, and I'll forget about it for at least the night. That's not coping, that's just numbing. That's like, you're not really coping with anything, you're just numbing out the uncomfortable feeling of being, of sitting in the uncomfortable. So how I cope with being alone is I'm just alone, and I just do things that are healthy for myself. I'm kind to myself. I cook a good meal for myself, one that's healthy. I get a lot of sleep. I take a shower. I work on things I love. I listen to music I love. I watch shows that I love. Being alone is not the end of the world. I think people like, it sucks, of course, being heartbroken, but you get to work on the most important thing in the world when you're alone, and that's you. And you owe nothing to anybody else. So, and I'm not saying that in a term of like, oh, you can just go fuck off and do whatever you want and just party, but you really can discover who you are and really dig into the root structure of you as a human being. So, yeah. I wish I was not as triggered to drink relapse as you, Avo. You're an inspiration for me who is struggling a lot. Sorry, man. I apologize that you're triggered, man. I know it's not easy to be sober. It's really, I'm not trying to make it sound like, oh, it's so fucking easy not to drink, because it's not. But relapse is part of the recovery. That's part of the whole game we're going through in life. The journey of life, you will probably make mistakes, and relapsing is just part of recovery. So I don't think it's something to really kill yourself for or put too much like shame into not wanting to relapse, but just being cognitive of the voice being there. Desi, I'm feeling very good. Oddly enough, I've had a really rough couple of days, but yeah, to be honest with you, I mean, like, I told this woman today that I'm not ready for anything serious in a relationship, and she's a really wonderful woman. And that's because I'm literally not ready. And I think this is the first time in the past year and a half that I'm like really looking forward to being good to myself and being alone. Because I found out recently that I struggle really hard with being codependent, and that I'm kind of a love addict too. And I'm a what's the word? It's like a love adherent. I'm like a guy that kind of runs from love too. So I have a lot of stuff to unpack within myself, and I think I'm finally getting to the honest root of me rather than just being heartbroken. And I don't know what happened. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be sadness right around the corner. I'm going to feel horrible like tonight, but hey, it happens. That's life. But yeah, so what were the major signs? What were the major signs you saw in yourself once you realized you were a sex addict? I know it's different for every person, so I was just curious what your experience with that has been. Well, I mean, the main experience with me with sex addiction is that I have been disloyal in every relationship I've been in. I've cheated on all of my girlfriends, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop cheating on them. And then I did pornography for 4 years behind my ex-girlfriend's back, cheated on her in a very, very traumatic way. And I literally didn't think I was going to stop. I was like, I can't stop this. Literally, I would be driving to shoot a scene, and I was having thoughts of just this one last time. I just need to shoot this one last scene, and then I'll be done with it. And that's like that is the most generic addictive behavior and statement right there. And yeah, I mean, I just started watching porn at a young age. It warped my mind. I developed porn as a numbing agent for intimacy, and I like didn't really have a lot of intimacy in a lot of my relationships, and it's not like wasn't there because of my partner, or wasn't there because of me, because I would run from it, and I would choose sensation with pleasure but no intimacy over true intimacy. And intimacy also is a sticky subject because people view intimacy as like it being, a loving relationship all the time. But intimacy is actually just being honest and open with another human being and being vulnerable. And that's something that I rarely did in any relationship. I was rarely comfortable being wrong. I was rarely comfortable truly showing myself fully to another person in terms of like my heart and my sexuality and everything that comes with that. So intimacy is a funny thing, but yeah, to sum it up, that's like my history with sex addiction. And I have been, I don't want to say sober from that because people use that term, but like, of course I am a human being and I'm going to have sex again, and I'm like everybody else, but I have a much healthier perspective on sex than I used to. So 7 spiritual laws of success. I'll choose that. Are you worried as well that you're having a serious relationship might take time away from your work? No, not at all. I'm not worried about that, because that's definitely a love addiction trait of pouring all your time and thoughts and mental capacity and physical capacity into some person. I don't think it will take time away. I think there's a healthy balance. So I think if you approach a serious relationship like that, that's a good thing. I'm not in a serious relationship because I need time for work at all. Like, I actually have a very good work-life balance. Like, I take around 5 hours a day just to go to the gym. So yeah. When you're choosing to watch porn instead of being with your partner, yep, that's a very good sex addiction behavior. Intimacy is about being openly communicative with each other, not just sex. Watch where y'all cram in your private parts. Hear me, do. 100%. 100%. OYK, thank you, bro. I'm glowing. It's because I'm pregnant. No, I'm kidding. Zeus the God, where are you? Where's your question? Hey, Avo, I deal with the same love problem. Are you a Libra by any chance? No, I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. Hang out right here. I'm gonna go get that book that I got. Alrighty. Books. So, here's a good book for anybody that's struggling with, I guess, love addiction. I just realized recently that I'm a love addict. It's called Facing Love Addiction, and I'll just read some cool little quotes from here. And here's one that kind of like really resonated with me. Another powerful characteristics of love addiction is that love addicts expect their partners to give them unconditional positive regard at all times, a reflection of the love addict's profound lack of self-esteem. Love addicts usually have serious doubts about their self-worth, and so they are driven more than others to hope for and seek an experience of unconditional positive regard to heal their wounded self-esteem. Like alcoholics who seek relief in a bottle, or work addicts who seek it either in the process of staying busy or in achievement, love addicts seek in a relationship enough in unconditional positive regard to relieve the pain of extremely low self-esteem. A link to codependence. The tragedy is that love addicts are usually drawn to love avoidance. So that I'm kind of both. I'm a love avoidant and I'm a love addict. And this is why. Love avoidance try to avoid commitment and healthy intimacy, and are powerfully focused on addictions such as alcoholism, work, or sex, which were all my addictions. Those 3 were my strongest addictions. Love addicts usually often wind up taking care of love avoidance when love avoidance lives become unmanageable, but the need to do so makes them angry. So, yeah, some good quotes. I'll fuck with this book. I highly suggest anybody picking it up that's going through any sort of breakup. It's really good for that. She also wrote a book called Facing Codependency, or Facing Codependence. It's really good. So check it out. Facing Love Addiction. Give yourself the power to change the way you love. I'm probably going to burn through this book hella fast because I'm really into it. But yeah, I'm a total love avoidant too. Or have been. I don't want to say I am because I'm trying not to do that again. But yeah. Yeah, Desi, pick it up. It's fucking awesome. Almost like the concept, I run to see if you'll chase me. Never thought of it like that. Yep. What else do you guys want to chat about? Anybody got anything in the chat? I'm petrified of the thought of it these days. Oh, love avoidance? You're petrified of love, of intimacy? Pyrom Sean, what's cracking? Do you have a channel with a portfolio of your best editing work? I do not. John Cooper, Art of Social. I don't have anything. I don't have a reel, if that's what you're asking. I'm very much a codependent when I'm in a relationship because of my parents. Children of addicts are usually codependent. Yep, 100%. I mean, I'm a child of addicts as well, and yeah, I mean that definitely like brings up a lot of issues. I mean, they also talk about that in here, where it's like childhood abuse experiences of the love addict. I've come to believe that people fall into love addiction because of the unhealed pain from childhood abandonment and the feeling that they cannot be safe in the world without having somebody else hold them up. So yeah, I mean, I haven't been abandoned as a child. My parents were awesome, and they were there for me, but definitely learned addiction through my household. Did you have withdrawal leading to sobriety? I did not, but I definitely wasn't drinking enough to where you could have that. I would highly suggest, if you're drinking a ton of alcohol, to go to a doctor and ask how you can wean off of alcohol in a healthy way, because it is very dangerous if you're drinking like bottles a day to just stop. It's very dangerous. What advice do you have for starting your own business? I'm in college, switching my major over to business, and I'm thinking about starting one in the future. Echo, I would say that researching business as much as possible, do that first. Taxes, do that first. Money management, contracts. And yeah, man, go for it. Fucking go for it. You have nothing to lose at all. Like you can always, like, there's nothing to lose with starting your own business. Experience is the best teacher. I would also talk to other people that have started their own businesses to see what they can teach you, because they will definitely have some pointers. But yeah, man, go for it. Saxy, my girlfriend of over 5 years sacheated on me with one of my good friends last year. Haven't felt the same about relationships since. I've met so many great women, but I stop it before it goes anywhere. Saxy, will you find? Well, so there's damage there. And it seems like you have a wall there because you don't want to get hurt again. And that's very understandable. I think you probably need to heal from the trauma first before you can enter in another relationship and be trusting of another person, because it sounds like you're dealing with a lot of pain and trust issues there. So definitely need to explore that first. Will Willis, after I broke up with my ex, I didn't have sex for around 8 months. When I did hook up with someone, I was really happy right after, but then it led to a deep depression because I realized that I wouldn't solve my problems. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at sex from the standpoint of it solving your issues, or even a relationship solving your issues, that's probably a little bit of love addiction right there, because that's what love addicts do. They look for a partner to make them whole, to heal them, to make them, like, you know, a person they want to be. When, as recovering codependents, we come out of denial about being addicted to a substance or a compulsive behavior, we often realize that our addiction has acquired a control over us that is greater than our own willpower. Whatever we're addicted to initially made us feel better, but eventually begins to make us feel worse. Perhaps the pain of harmful consequences or a confrontation by somebody forces us to take a look at what we're doing. We may decide we want to stop using the substance or doing the compulsive behavior, only to find that we cannot. At this point, we may painfully realize that we are in the grip of something bigger than something we can control, something that has surprisingly strong power over us. In this sense, we can say we have, in effect, made this addictive process a higher power. Recovery can begin when we are finally able to say we are powerless over the addictive process and over ourselves in regard to it, and that our lives have become unmanageable. Recognizing and admitting that this is the significance of the first step in any 12-step program. Some cool quotes. Not really, I'm not personally one that, like, I believe in the whole, like, powerless over addiction, because I don't like to give power to. I like to give power to yourself, not to the addiction. But I know it works for a lot of people. My new music video reached 1.4 thousand views in 2 weeks, which is my highest viewed video and latest growing video I've ever put out. Congrats, Enormous Jenkins. The video is called Contraband. Go check it out. Fuck yeah. Dream guest on Ruin Your Day? Probably Beyonce. How about that? If I could have Beyonce and me watch a twerk battle, my life would be pretty cool. Do I drink non-alcoholic beers? No, I do not. I don't, because I feel like that's just teasing the fact of drinking alcohol. It's like you're not really kicking the bucket then. You're just kind of like teasing yourself. It's like, oh, I won't cheat on you, honey. I just go to strip clubs. I don't touch them, you know? It's like you're towing the line with that. It's not. That's not a troll comment. Honestly, I would love to have Beyonce on the show. Like that would be incredible. Honestly, I'm not kidding. Cole Obsidian, peace out, man. Good to see you. I know you said you're not ready for a relationship, but when you are, does a girl have to be sober as well for you to date her? Some girls I dated like to drink or to get high after sex. No, not at all. Like that's not a requirement. To be honest, I have no requirements at all. I guess the only real requirement is that you're not racist and you're not and you don't hate battle rap, because that wouldn't work. It would be an issue if somebody was like hardcore into partying and they were irresponsible when they drink. So I think as long as they're an adult and they drink responsibly or smoke weed responsibly, that's fine with me. They don't need to be sober. How bad did you have to check your ego in order for you to go through rehab successfully? I've had to check my ego pretty fucking bad. Like, definitely pretty bad over the past year and a half. Multiple times. I had to check my ego like this week. Like, that's something that I'm constantly going to be going through. I mean, the ego is it's like your worst enemy sometimes. So yeah, I had to check it pretty hard, man. But it's very liberating when you check your ego and you know that you have power and that you are a great person and you're bigger than this, but like you made some mistakes, some things you're resentful for. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Nah, Beyonce probably does not like battle rap. I mean, maybe she does. I'm sure she likes hip-hop. My girlfriend bought a 12-pack of White Claw. I drank 6 tonight, saving the last 6 for her. She came home from work and yelled at me for drinking so many, and I found myself losing my temper. I need to slow down. Well, good thing you're calling yourself out about it, man. 6 White Claws in a night is kind of a lot, so you definitely probably aren't drinking responsibly at all. And yeah, man, good for checking yourself and noticing that your temper's flaring up. What would say if you've been sexually groped? What do you mean? What would I say? Don't understand your question, Matt Snaps. I'm reading a good book about ego by Eckhart Tolle called A New Earth. Interesting. Never heard of that. I'll write that down. A New Earth. Would you care for more, darling? That's hilarious. A New Earth. Oh. Got a book list going. As a woman, I was most likely to go for the throat. Yeah, I got very sick when I stopped. Yet my anger is the scariest part, I think. Got to realize it before I begin to drink. Yeah, I mean, if you're having anger issues and temper issues, it's definitely a bad thing to be mixing alcohol with those things. I personally have a lot of experience with a high temper. It's because anger, it's like a cloak. Anger is like a coat you can put on and instantly feel better and powerful. Like it's like almost like a bodysuit. Like you're like, oh, I'm better. I'm angry right now. But as soon as you take off that bodysuit, you're gonna be weaker than you were before you even put it on in the first place. Anger always, I wrote this on Twitter the other day. Anger always drops you off lower than at the point it picked you up at. So just keeping your anger in check and your temper in check is the smartest thing to do, and realizing when it's flaring up is because you're insecure and you're uncomfortable about what's happening. Anger can be good. It's a really good tool. It's healthy, but just when it turns into resentment, that's when it's not healthy. I got very sick when I stopped drinking, literally looking at death in the mirror, and I feel like God gave me a second chance at life, and I'm grateful for it. It took everything in my soul to admit it. Chris, congratulations on that. That's incredible. That's absolutely amazing. Adrian Greenlee, I hope you have a good day too. I've just escaped by a gay guy who tried to try it on me. I mean, obviously, tell people when they try to sexually grab you that, hey, I'm not with that. That ain't my cup of tea, bro. We do recover. Don't hesitate to reach out to loved ones. Any of us riders love and appreciate y'all. Jacob Thomas, appreciate you, my man. Probably high. Do you see a professional, or is it the books giving you these quotes? Those are actually all quotes from books that I've read recently. That anger quote was a quote from the book called A State of Affair by Esther Perel. And yeah, I see 2 therapists now. I'm going to 2 different therapists. So I saw one yesterday, and I actually saw one today. So I would highly suggest everybody, if they have the money and time, to go see a therapist. And if not, read books. They're great. Arthur, hey Avo, this past Monday I went out with a girl and we had some intimacy moments. Then she came out and said she's in a relationship with another girl. Should I pursue on going out with her more? So she's in an open relationship, I'm assuming? Or are you like cheating? Are you helping her cheat? Because I would say if you're helping her cheat, I would suggest not doing that, because it's going to just end up messy for everybody, and you're potentially hurting somebody else. But if she's in an open relationship and you're ready for that emotionally, I think there's a possibility of that working out. Philip Skillern. Ava, what up? Since I've been sober, I've been really focused on getting physically fit, my mental well-being, and growing spiritually. What has been the most important out of those 3 things in your recovery? Oh man, all 3. All fucking 3. Physicality is improved, my mentality is improved, and my spirituality is improved. Everything is improved in my sobriety. I think exploring who I am has been one of the most hardest things, but most important things that I've done in the past year and a half. Getting, more fit. Of course, I was always into fitness, so that's awesome that I'm getting there and really like knocking off these goals. But also really just being honest and like doing uncomfortable stuff, like for example, like me not dating, like of course I'm lonely a lot, and of course I have sexual needs, and I would love to be with somebody, but I'm just not ready. I'm not ready, and I need to be alone and explore things about myself alone, and like really learn to like love myself. And I think that's the biggest thing, is like being sober, like you really get to know who you are, because there's no numbing agent there anymore. It's like when you're uncomfortable, I'll just drink. I feel like fucking weird. I'm just going to have a drink right now. I'm going to have a fucking shot. So yeah, those 3 things. Do your therapists have specialties, or do you essentially have the same combo 2 days in a row when you go like that? Well, my therapist that I've been seeing for the past 3 years is specifically an addict therapist. So I went to her for my sex addiction. And she's a woman too, and my other therapist is a man, and he's kind of more of a general therapist. So even though I'm kind of talking about the same thing, it's very different perspectives that I get from both of them, like wildly different, and they're both helpful for different reasons. So it's very awesome actually to have 2 different voices telling you things. They don't conflict ever. And even if they do tell me things that I'm like, okay, I don't really agree with that, or like if I'm voicing an opinion in there and they have a reaction, then I'm like, okay, it's not my cup of tea. That's great, that's really great. So yeah, I do talk about the same stuff in there, but it's not really like I'm having the same conversation. You guys doing anything to celebrate Cadillac today? I'm doing this show, bro. I'm doing a show about sobriety. What greater way to honor Caddy Ron than doing this show? Yeah, word up, Ancient Spits. Being aggressively hit on is not cool for any gender, in the fucking slightest. Did you know when you were drinking you were doing it for a reason? Yeah, I definitely knew that I was uncomfortable and I was unhappy. And a lot of the times I would drink because I just didn't want to live in reality. And I wanted an escape tool. And I wanted to just like not think of anything. I just wanted like to have the immediate fun, the immediate good feeling of being buzzed and drunk. Avo, just wanted to let you know that you're an amazing person. I've struggled with self-harming recently, and you helped me not do it the other night with Ruin an Hour. I cannot thank you enough. Liam, thank you so much for that compliment, and thank you for not hurting yourself, man. Nothing in this world is worth hurting yourself. Nothing is. No body, no job, no event, no words, no feelings. Nothing is meant self-inflicted harm. You are worthwhile, you are an amazing person, and I'm sure that there are things out there that are just waiting for you to step into and do, and the world is blessed to have you in it. So there's nothing out there worth for you to harm yourself. So I'm proud of you for not doing that. Thanks for the response. Always quality content from you. Last question, being someone so involved in hip-hop culture, do you see a lot of addiction with people you work with and in battle rap? Yes, I do. I see a lot of addiction being in the entertainment industry, but actually I've seen recently, I don't know if it's just me, like being who I am or like being in the place that I am, but I've noticed a lot of people like getting sober. Like a lot of people getting sober. Thank you, Will Willis. Caddy was such a brilliant human, smart people, and those who are more self-aware tend to be more depressed and usually addicts. 100%. He had some demons. He had a lot of demons, but don't we all? Don't we all? Yo, Avo, it would be dope if I could get your advice on my problem. Time Traveler, what's your problem? Did you write it above? Did I just skip it? Let me see if I can find it. Time Traveler, Time Traveler, Time Traveler. I don't see it. Write it again. What is your issue? The last couple of months, this Ruin an Hour has been a real lifeline for me. I appreciate you doing this a ton, Avo. Thank you. Will Willis, I appreciate you, man. Just being in here means a lot. Write out your issue, Time Traveler. What is your problem? How do you deal with being around the same people, seeing and staying sober? If anything, that is just more fuel for me to be sober. Being around people, I mean, okay, I'll say this. I never drank because of the people I was around. I drank because of me. I drank because there was an issue within myself making me want to drink. It's not like there's peer pressure making me drink. If anything, also, to be honest with you, I do really like being an example of like sobriety, and I like being an example in my family of therapy, self-help, dealing with your feelings, being vulnerable, being honest, admitting that I'm wrong, being sober. I like being all those things, and I like being an example to people around me. I think there's a lot of power that comes with that. So when I'm around the scene of people getting drunk and drinking and smoking, doing drugs, blah, 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 there's no judgment there, but I like being an example of the other end of the spectrum so they can see that and notice that. Maybe take the path themselves. Philip, appreciate you, dog. The $5, man. Appreciate it. James Kelly, love you too. Appreciate you. 100 gold. Have you noticed that your work has been much better being sober versus non-sober, as in more creative and focused? Yeah, for real. I mean, everything has improved with me being sober, especially my work. My work has gotten 1,000,000 times better. What happened to Franco? Who knows? I never drank because of the people around me. I drank because of me. Yep, 100%. Thanks, man. Thanks for your honesty. I appreciate it. Of course, bro. Thank you for blessing us by offering us your time. Favorite battle of 2019? No idea. What's good with this? I'm trying to quit using. Been since I was 13. Joey, what are you using? Yo, Gorilla number one. Let's keep this on stuff not related to battle rap. How about that? We can talk about battle rap on a watch. Will Fresco return this year? Maybe. Who knows? Drugs. What type of drugs are you using? Also, if you're struggling with drugs of any kind, I would highly suggest going to rehab. Just checking yourself in. Especially if you've been using since you're 13 and you're an adult now. Do you have any new hobbies now that you're sober? Yeah, I mean, this is going to make me sound really dumb, but I didn't used to read a lot. And I read a lot now, and I really love reading. Also, I really love walking, which is also kind of weird. But I walk home from the gym every day, and that's 4 miles. It takes an hour and a half. It's wonderful. I fucking love it. Put on some music, find out some new music. Yeah, I mean, just kind of like living more. Like, it's a lot more fun. Life in general is a lot more fun. Yeah, Ilmac's still sober, actually, which is awesome. Yo, Kyle, I'm sure I've told you this before, but I highly respect you for doing these things. It's not super pertinent to me, but it's amazing all you've done for others. Brad, means a lot coming from you, man. I highly respect your opinion and holds a lot of weight for me in my heart. Appreciate you, bro. That means a lot for you saying that, man. It really does. This live is going to help me continue to download my stand-up and move to Vegas for 2020. Fuck yeah, man. That's a big goal. Congrats on you. I struggle with happiness on a daily basis and not even sure what makes me happy. You go to work, come home, sleep, repeat. Eric, do this simple thing. Exercise. Get some exercise in every day. Even if it is doing push-ups in your room, I would more than likely suggest going on a walk. You work, so you have a lunch break. Take a walk around the block. Listen to some music and just walk around. I guarantee it will change your day. Yo, read so much, man. What books or authors are you a fan of? Mostly self-help stuff. I don't really read a lot of fiction. It's mostly non-fiction. I'm struggling with weed, cigarettes, and chewing tobacco. I would say those are hard to quit. If you're struggling with cigarettes or chewing tobacco, you should download an app that will help you quit. I think it takes tallies of how long you've gone without smoking, and just seeing that number and adding up will add to your motivation. I want to know what's going on with Matt Snaps. I don't know. I can't tell if he's trolling or not. Ilmac is fire. Yeah, he's pretty cool, I guess. I keep on saying today is my last day, but it's hard. Wake up every day trying to get sober. I will get there. Yes, you will, man. You just got to keep trying. That's it. Just keep going through it. And tomorrow is always a new day to try. It's never your last day. So just keep going. Avo, she probably cheated on her girlfriend, but fulfills my problems when I get to see her and share intimate moments, but we did agree on no strings attached. All right, Artur, I would say that this is probably not a good thing, man. I know that it feels good because it's just fulfilling your needs when you see her, but I would honestly say that she's probably not the right person for you if she's doing that. Not that she's not the right person for you, but she's not in the correct state to be doing that. It's not the right time, and you wouldn't want to be in that situation. You wouldn't want to have somebody cheating on you with somebody else, like you wouldn't want to be on that opposite end. So just think about that. I would think about that and just how it's like it's going to end up being messy and probably cause you more depression than even when you began, because you'll feel guilty about it. Thank you, the atheist bastard. Appreciate you. Just for today is huge. Instead of thinking I need to quit forever, I just need to not use today or right now. Deal with tomorrow. Hell yeah, Enlightenment Addict. Thank you, man. That means a lot. Just deal with today. Peace out, Saint Soldier. Much love, bro. Did you have an eye-opening experience that scared you into becoming sober, or was it solely focused on self-improvement? my ex-girlfriend and me broke up, and that was a serious relationship that I saw never ending. I thought I was going to have children and be married to her by now, and that happened a year and a half ago. And that was a huge moment in my life because I never thought I was going to not be with this woman, and I really just wanted to change myself for the better. Honestly, I was like, I don't like who I am right now. I don't like being a guy that's so used to getting drunk that his own girlfriend who loves him doesn't want to be around him. So yeah, that was the moment that I was like, I'm gonna quit for a year, and then once I stopped drinking for like a month, I was like, I'm good. I can like do this for a year, and then after a year, I was like, fuck, I don't want to ever drink again. You need to add therapist to your resume. To play devil's advocate to all advice given in this situation, sometimes you have to learn the lessons the hard way and make choices or mistakes so you can grow up. Definitely true, Desi. Definitely true. Sometimes you definitely need to make the mistakes so you can grow up. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without making those mistakes. I would still, honestly, if me and my ex didn't break up, I still would probably be doing those things. I still would probably be drinking and cheating, honestly. Like, even though I love her more than anything in the fucking world, still to this day, I can't say that I would have changed. So that's really fucking true. Hell yeah, Archer, those are good battles. Spooks, how do you pick up after wasting so many years to partying and drugs with nothing on your resume and no goals or passions? That's what I struggle with, finding a purpose to pursue. Well, Spooks, I mean, you didn't waste. It's not like you wasted your life. You still had experiences. Maybe they might not have been the best experiences health wise, but you learned from them. Just like Desi said, like you learned, like it's like when you touch fire and it burns you, and you're like, I'm not going to do that ever again. You learned from that experience, so you didn't waste time. And it's never too late. It's never too late to do what you love. I'm 35, man. I'm 35 years old. I'm going to be 36 this year. I'm single. I live in a one-bedroom apartment with my friend, and I film battle rap for a living. To some people, I don't own property. I'm in massive amounts of tax debt. There's some times that I used to make six figures a year, and I don't make nearly that anymore. But I'm the most happy I have ever been in my entire life. I'm the most fulfilled I've ever been. I wake up every day, and I don't feel like I'd work. I love every single moment I'm alive, every breath I take, every sight I see, sound I hear, taste I taste, blah, blah, blah. So it is never too late, man, to try and pursue your goals. It's never too late. But, guys, I love you all. It's been an hour. I got to sign off because I got to prepare for Ruin Your Show tomorrow. If you're in LA, come out. Please come out. Tickets are available at ryderDie.com. There's going to be a lot of battle rappers in the building. We got Geechee Gotti, B-Dot, Eddie I, Ilmac, Frack, Chase Moore, all performing live tomorrow. Ruin Your Show, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be doing a little commentary. Lush One is going to be hosting. We got Oops in the building, Hollow in the building, Alchemist in the building. There's going to be a lot of people popping on the commentary. So watch it live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be great. Love you all. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Ruin Your Show, our first show ever. Peace out.